What's going on, guys? We're back with another YouTube video. John Walker fanboys, I know y'all miss me. Come on, don't act like you didn't miss me.
We don't want your kind here. Damn. Oh my god. What
I mean, see, like even that right there, when he put in there like we don't want your kind here. I mean, it feels like he's calling, you know, those of us who like John Walker, racist or something. I mean, I get that, the feeling, because this guy he defends, Sam Wilson, even though Sam Wilson's wrong. I mean, is it a black thing? I mean, it feels like it, and I usually, don't, what do you call it, like, want to bring up the race or whatever, but I mean, I guess that's something he focuses on or whatever. I mean, I always talk about how John Walker does the right thing and is badass. I don't talk about, how great he is because he's white.
are you doing over here, bro? I swear.
Anyhow, for my regular viewers today, I'm gonna be responding to a video that recently came across my feed.
But yeah, this is the BAYS Talks video. I recommend going checking him out. He's got some pretty good stuff. I didn't agree with everything he said, in some of his videos, like um the boys one about Soldier Boy. Like he said something like, why do we like Soldier Boy? And one of the reasons I like Soldier Boy is because he doesn't give a fuck what other people think. He says, or he talks the way we used to talk before everyone got so sensitive, and they couldn't handle certain words and all this other bullshit. I mean, there's the scene and the boys. I think it's like season 3 or 4. I forget which one Soldier Boy was in. But yeah, he says, "Where's the chopsaki Oriental sauce?" And Huey says, "Oh, they don't make it anymore." And he's like, "Why the fuck not?" And he says for many good reasons or something like that. And basically the reason he's talking about is because I guess someone found it offensive because it's chopsaki Oriental sauce, and for some reason, I mean, not even I wouldn't even say Asian people find the term Oriental offensive. It's usually white liberals that they're the ones who want to defend other races, like if you see like a BLM or Antifa thing, it's usually like some bitches, like some women, white women, with colored hair, you know. So, anyways, I'm kind of going off on a tangent there,
Feed by some guy. Now, this is another person who
but yeah, like you said, some guy. I mean, why don't you? I mean, he's also his channel's growing, so why don't you, give him props or something?
hates Sam Wilson and believes that, John Walker did nothing wrong. And
I mean, I know I didn't always hate Sam Wilson. I mean, I thought Anthony Mackie used to be pretty good, but man, Falcon and the Winter Soldier just fucked his character all to hell. I mean, the way he acted over that fucking shield, and I mean, the way that, he attacked John Walker, who was grieving, and he wouldn't work with him just because uh, John Walker called him a wingman. And it was just all this petty shit. And even now, they have Sam Wilson suing, Bucky, his friend, over the stupid title of Avengers. Bro, get over it. I mean, if I was, making a superhero team and someone took the name that I wanted, but, you know, like I wouldn't try to sue them over it. I would just call myself something else. I mean, seriously, like you don't have to be the Avengers. You can be anything. There's, so many different team names.
the show treats him like a villain for no reason. Now, the issue surrounding this entire thing, and what I've come to find, is that there's a large chunk of Walker fans who kind of live in this like deluded headspace where Marvel has some sort of vendetta against the character in Thunder.
I seriously hate the design of this Miles Morales. I mean, there are others that, that are fine looking, but this one right here, I can't stand the way he looks. He looks so fucking like skinny and gross. And then like he has this giant ball of pubic hair on his head. I mean, it's ugly. Look at his nose. He's fucking hideous. He looks like a crack addict.
Bolts, and especially Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The thing
I mean, especially like when you see him in the movie and see like this Miles Morales right here, he looks normal. He doesn't look like a fucking twig.
is, this mindset in videos like this almost always hinge on just not understanding certain scenes, basically framing the entire show poorly, and also purposefully misconstruing certain elements of the show and strawmanning certain elements.
Surely he's not still playing this game, right? I mean, surely he's just, putting, old clips of him playing the game out or whatever. Because Spider-Man 2, like, I beat it once and that was all I could take of it. You know, I I really hated that game so much.
Of the writing. And
And no, it wasn't because of Miles Morales. It was because of well, the one of my biggest gripes was Mary Jane, and then the second I think would have been the fact that they didn't put Eddie Brock in the game as Venom. They chose fucking um, why am I blanking on his name? Harry Osborn. That's it.
so the Walker fans who are probably gonna flood the ever-loving shit out of this video because they just cannot stand anyone who doesn't outright glaze this
Well, I mean, when you're wrong, people are gonna want to point you out.
character for some reason, and so they're gonna drop 10 paragraph essays about how John is super relatable and he did.
Let's see. It's not that we can't stand criticism. It's just that when Steve Rogers fanboys start saying Walker is the worst character ever, and start spouting misinformation about him as a character, we will defend him and point out how other characters do similar or just the same stuff, but only he gets hate. Walker has flaws unlike what? Walker has flaws unlike Steve. Steve had flaws. He even says so, like in I think it was Age of Ultron. He said he had a dark side, but he just hadn't seen it yet. So clearly, Steve Rogers, I guess deep down really liked to kill people or something. I don't know. Let's see, making him seem a lot more human and allows us to relate to him more than Steve, and I love that about him. I mean, yeah, this guy he's pretty much right. I mean, except for the part about, Steve not really having flaws, which I mean, Steve definitely had flaws, I mean, he basically killed a lot of people. I mean, I don't know, fucking can't. I mean, I don't know. I didn't prepared like anything. Like I didn't go back and like point out every fucking wrong thing Steve did. But if I had the time, I could go through and pick out many mistakes that he's made.
What we would have done, and that's why we love him and everything, and you're just a hater if you don't think he was right. Okay, there's a couple things we need to preface going into this. One, just because I don't blindly defend everything this dude does not make me a hater of the character. I actually like his character, but I'm also willing to call his actions for what it is and not do mental gymnastics to pretend he's a saint. I say this because Walker fans have a tendency to get overtly hostile and defensive and act like people are calling him the worst person on.
Dude, you're the one attacking another YouTuber who honestly he didn't say anything about you, but you went and attacked this guy, saying that he was a delusional fanboy.
Planet Earth for simply pointing out the mistake he made was indeed a mistake. Two, just because you can empathize with why he would do something does not make him in the right.
I mean, that scene right there, where he kills the terrorist, is justified. I mean, that was his mission to capture or eliminate the flag smashers. I mean, I don't get why people don't understand that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like it's just bad writing is what it is. So it all comes down to the writers, they're tricking you by playing the ominous music, putting the blood on the shield, and then having everybody stand around with their phones out like, "Oh my god, he killed a man." Do you think, that John Walker never or well, hell, John Walker and Steve killed a lot of people. They both killed a lot of people. Let's put it that way. You know, I mean, do people in this world or whatever, did they not think that Steve, killing the Nazis or whatever? I mean, or hell, even the I forget, it was like the Triskelion massacre or whatever, where he brought down the three helicarriers and basically killed like a lot of people, and not just bad people, but fucking civilians. I mean, Steve is pretty much responsible for his or for the Soviet Accord, or was that it? Sokovia, that's what it was. Steve was pretty much responsible for the Sokovia Accords.
Mistake. Two, just because you can empathize with why he would do something does not make him in the right for doing it. There are plenty of characters throughout fiction who have flaws that you can empathize with without defending certain things they do in their story just because you like the character. And finally, no, John Walker was not meant to be a villain in the show. He's someone who had good intentions that made a mistake because he couldn't control himself. The actual villain of the show was the Flag Smashers and, to an extent, the government for putting him in that situation and setting him up to fail in the first place. Why would the writers put scenes like this in the show for someone they wanted you to hate? This logic makes literally no sense.
Well, it was because they wanted Sam Wilson to come in and make it, or and kind of prove that he's the better Captain America. That's what it was all about.
Especially since the director of the show flat out stated the intention was to like him by the end after the finale released, but Walker's shield
Really? Then why the fuck did Wyatt Russell receive death threats over playing Captain America? I mean, I guess you could say that was, mostly due to the fanboys of Steve Rogers or whatever. But, I'm sure, him killing that guy with the shield didn't, you know, I mean, you know, I just think that that probably played a part in, people sending death threats to Wyatt Russell because they wrote him to kill the fucking terrorists or whatever, and they played the ominous music and all that. I mean, I don't know, man.
ignore this and act like everybody hates him because it fits their dumb narrative. Anyways, with all that being said, let's get into the video.
But yeah, also they wrote him in Thunderbolts to act like a fool and kind of an asshole.
Today, I wanted to talk about John Walker and go over some scenes that were poorly written and also some other stuff. We first see John Walker in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, and since Sam gave up the shield, remember that? He gave up the shield
Yeah,
willingly. The role of Captain America fell onto the GOAT, John Walker.
yeah.
And in his interview, we learned that he received 3 Medals of Honor. Damn! 3 fucking Medals of Honor, which is basically impossible. This dude is the man. And the government did a study of his body at MIT, and he tested off the charts in every measurable category, including speed, endurance, and intelligence.
And you tested off the charts in every measurable category.
He's basically the closest thing to a super soldier that a regular human could possibly be. Because remember, this is pre-serum, so this is nuts. And he's humble about it. He says he's not anything special, he's just a man with guts and a man who wants to do good. And he wants to do right by Captain America. You literally could not ask for a better Captain America.
That's
But
right.
Bucky and Sam spend the rest of the show being stupidly salty at John for simply accepting the role of being Captain America by the
Yeah. And it makes you hate Sam and Bucky for the way they act. I mean, you cannot defend that shit.
government after Sam willingly gave up the shield. I can't make this shit up.
John Walker fans not paying attention to the media they consume will never not get old. Sam did give up the shield, but he was doing that because he was retiring the mantle. The reason he is upset is because the shield was supposed to stay in the museum. The whole intent of that speech is that he was letting Steve's legacy rest. The government knew this and acted like they were going to keep that promise in front of his face, only to completely backstab him and give it to someone else without them knowing. And let's clear something up, because
Well, most of the Avengers are either missing or dead or whatever, so and the world is in chaos. They need a symbol of hope, which they say in the show. So why wouldn't they pass on the mantle of Captain America to another man? Because the world needs that. I mean, it's so dumb. I mean, if, you know, if Sam wanted to retire the shield or whatever, then why the fuck did he become Captain America, at the end or whatever? I mean, so that doesn't make any sense. And also, the reason he retired the shield, and I'm sure you're probably not going to mention this, but he did it because he felt that being black is, or being a black Captain America would be, I don't know, wrong, I guess. I mean, because basically that's what he says in the show is that he's like, I feel all the judgment and stares looking at me right now, as I hold the shield or whatever. And it's so dramatic and stupid because we've had other black superheroes. We've had fucking Rhodey as the president's private guard who was Iron Patriot. you know I mean, nobody, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I'm getting really sick of people saying that Sam and Bucky were salty at John the whole show,
They
when this
were,
literally isn't true, and this is generalizing all of their interactions. The only person of the two who was directly hostile at John for most of the show was Bucky. Yes,
I will say Bucky was more aggressive, but Sam was a little bitch.
Sam was initially put off by the news, but even when we observe the conversation after Sam sees the news, he's not really focused on getting the shield back or on John. His focus is explicitly on finding the Flag Smashers. It's Bucky
But he won't work with John.
who's obsessed with the shield.
Shouldn't have given up the shield.
Good to see you too, Buck. This is wrong. Hey, look. I'm working, all right? So all this outrage is gonna have to wait.
Didn't know that was gonna happen.
No, of course I didn't know that was gonna happen.
This isn't what Steve wanted.
Oh my God, so what do you want me to do? Call America and tell them I changed my mind? Yeah, right. It's a great reunion, buddy. Be well.
You had a right to give up the shield, Sam.
That's what you're not gonna do. You're not gonna come here in your overextended life and tell me about my rights. It's over, Bucky. It's over, Bucky. It's over, Bucky. Because I have bigger things to deal with now.
Why did he do that? Like repeat, or not what's his name, Sam, but the guy making this video. Why did he, repeat "It's over, Bucky"? I mean, because it's not.
What could be bigger than this?
Oh, Bucky gets out the car while they're trying to play shit out, and Sam at least stayed and tried to hear the guy out, even though he disagreed with him. And even in the next
What? Hold on. No. You cannot blow past that. You cannot blow past that. You're not going to mention the whole reason Sam gets out of the truck or the Jeep or whatever. It's because, Captain America says it would be real nice if I had, Steve's wingmen, and then that's when Sam says, "Oh, it's always that last line," like I'm, Sam or Steve Rogers' sidekick, and I'm no sidekick, and he gets out of the fucking, you know, the Jeep or whatever. I mean, it's petty shit. The world is on fire. You got these super soldiers running around, and you get offended because someone calls you a wingman. I mean, fuck. What is wrong with you?
clip you show, Sam was not even being hostile towards Walker. Bucky was being a jerk, but Sam actually acknowledges Walker and tells Bucky to cool off being.
Oh god. He doesn't acknowledge this either. Oh my god. You are so dumb.
salty towards him.
Where's she now, Walker? Do you know?
No, we don't know, Bucky.
Things are really intense for you, aren't they, Walker?
Take it easy. Look,
Well, yeah, he's got a lot to. I mean, he even says in the fucking second episode that he has a lot to live up to. He's got to basically fill the role of a legend. I mean, that's like if someone tried to live up to, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man or whatever. I mean, no one's going to be able to, be that person.
Walker's right. Take it easy. Look, Walker's right. Take it easy. Look, Walker's right.
Okay, so he says Walker's right. However, he won't work with him.
It is imperative that we find them and
Sam was literally being the moderator here. Well, that doesn't last.
stop them. You guys have rules of engagement and all kind of authorizations you have to get.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sure that if John Walker said, hey, we need this, this, or this to go after the Flag Smashers, they would probably give it to him because this is priority one. This is the biggest thing going on in the world at the moment.
We're free agents.
And what the fuck does that even mean? You're free agents. You work for the Air Force. You both work for the military. That makes no fucking sense. I think Bucky even still works for the military. I mean, I know that he has to go to some sort of military counselor or whatever. I mean, I assume that's part of the government. So, what the fuck?
We're more flexible. Wouldn't make sense.
So, it wouldn't make sense for us to work with you. No. You're just saying that because, you're a salty little bitch, and you can't handle the fact that John Walker is Captain America. Or hell, it could be anybody that was Captain America, and you would still be this little salty bitch.
Sense for us to work with you.
Sam also tried to help John out by warning him not to mess with the Dormilaje, told Bucky to step in and help.
Oh my god. Bro, you just keep saying this shit, and you're wrong. You're wrong. Okay, hang on, let's go back.
So tried to help John out by warning him not to mess with the.
He tried to help John out by saying not to mess with the Dora Milaje. Okay, well, why don't you play the scene and show us what happened? Because I know what happened. In the scene, John Walker says, all right, let's talk this out and, put down the pointy sticks. That's when Sam says, hey, you might want to tangle, or you might want to fight Bucky before you tangle with the Dora Milaje. What? John Walker said nothing about fighting the Dora Milaje. He said, let's talk this out. And then, he says the Dora Milaje do not have jurisdiction here. And then that's when, she's like, oh, the Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje find themselves to be. I mean, which is a villain line. Everyone can agree on that. Honestly, the Dora Milaje are just fucking evil. All the Wakandans are, really. They're selfish assholes, and I hate them. But anyway, yeah, so John Walker then says, look, I think we got off on the wrong foot, places his hand on her shoulder, to which that means she is now free, or well, all of them are free to kill him and Lamar. Lamar didn't do shit. Lamar's just over there, like, minding his own business, watching John's back. And then all of a sudden, these psycho bitches try to kill John and Lamar. And then it's not until the very last second when the fucking Dora Milaje bitch reels her spear back to run it through John's face that I think Sam steps in. And then, Bucky fights one of the other ones that's attacking Lamar or whatever. Fuck.
Dormilaje told Bucky to step in and help him when Ao was about to kill him, and even got his ass.
He didn't say, no, he said we should do something, but, he didn't say, hey, Bucky, get over there and help him.
Be defending John himself. So no, they, or at least Sam, did not spend the show, quote unquote, stupidly salty at John. It was
He damn well did.
just Bucky. And if you paid attention, they actually explained in episode 3
Bro, you're the one not paying attention.
that Bucky's hostility towards Walker was him essentially projecting his own insecurity and what Steve wanted.
Why'd you give up that shield?
Why are you making such a big deal out of something that has nothing to do with you? It was nothing. So maybe he was wrong about you, and if he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me.
Bucky's behavior is intentionally irrational. That's not bad writing, that's good writing. And this is where we kind of have to establish subjectivity versus objectivity. It's one thing simply disliking Bucky's behavior from a subjective, opinionated standpoint. It's another thing making an objective statement and saying the show is badly written because you dislike or even have an opinion on his behavior, which is a non-argument. Just because you may personally dislike how characters react in certain situations does not mean the show itself is badly written. And
But I mean, it is though, because the way they act, I mean, like, yeah, you can be salty at someone and be angry, but when you're a superhero and you have the choice to either help John Walker take down the Flag Smashers or go it or try to go it alone, or with one other person, I mean, it would make more sense to come together and work as a team and put the safety of the world above your pettiness. you know you're an adult, act like an adult. I mean, that'd be like if, I don't know, my best friend died and then basically someone else took his job or something, and we worked at the same job for fucking, I don't know, let's say 20 years or whatever. I wouldn't, like be, overly hostile to the guy that replaced him. I think I would just, be like, hey, what's up? And get to know the new guy. I wouldn't just be instantly, like, hey, you're a piece of shit for taking my friend's job.
in general tend to do this thing where they project poor writing onto something that they just don't like, when you don't have to agree with everything a character does or says for a show to be good. When you look at it from Bucky's perspective, his behavior does make sense. Bucky has a ton of unresolved mental problems, and he's not exactly
I thought, he worked or has been working on that stuff. So, I mean, I guess it didn't work or something, because he's spent years with the Dora Milaje, which, honestly, those bitches couldn't cure anything. And he's been going to therapy. So I guess that hadn't been working. So, what the fuck? I mean, that is kind of bad writing. Why show that, Bucky has been going to therapy, spending time with the Dora Milaje, trying to heal the trauma of his past or whatever, and then, have him be this little bitch. I mean, for God's sakes, the man is 70 something years old. You would think you could grow up.
known for being the best social person and getting along with everybody he
Or no, he's 90. I forgot. Yeah, he's a 90.
meets. Hell, him and Sam were beefing for a minute throughout the movies, and in this show, they barely get along till the end.
Then later on, Bucky and Sam are getting stomped out by a super soldier terrorist group known as the Flag Smashers. John and his partner, who's basically his brother, Lamar, roll up to help. And just look at this. Boom! Sit
Yeah.
down, you dweeb. John, the normal human being, holding it down against a bunch of juiced up super soldiers. The ginger chick teep kicks Lamar off the truck, but John throws the shield under him to save his life, then hops up on the truck and tries to solo a bunch of super soldiers. It doesn't go well, but that's what I'm talking about, baby. John Walker is just on go mode at all times, doesn't matter who it is. After this happens, John tries telling Bucky and Sam that they should work together to bring down the Flag Smashers. Pretty solid idea. But Bucky and Sam are still moping around like a couple of dorks because they're mad that John is the new Captain America.
All right, well then we gotta work together.
That's not happening. You ever jump on top of a grenade?
Yeah.
What the f does that have to do with anything? He has 3 goddamn medals of honor, and he's a regular human being. He's earned the right to be Captain America.
Bro, the whole point of the show was that the medals don't matter. Being Captain America is more than medals. Now, obviously, the fact that he has 3 medals of honor are quote-unquote impressive, and that this makes him a qualifying soldier, but the point has been made throughout the entirety of the MCU is what qualifies you as a good soldier is completely different from what qualifies you as a good man. If we're just going off of what qualifies as a good soldier,
But John Walker is a good man, so what's your point? Because I mean, he's run, or well, he's been in the military, saving lives for, I don't know how many years he was in the military, but I mean, he is a good man. He's very humble. He doesn't brag about his power or his strength or anything. He doesn't, Like even when he does the interview, like with Good Morning America, he doesn't, go out there and say, oh, I deserve this. He says himself, like, I can't believe I'm even here. This is insane. And then when he's in the locker room, because I've seen some people online say, oh, well, John Walker could have been lying, during the interview. Well, okay, what about the scene when he's in the locker room with his wife and then his best friend Lamar? He says to both, or well, to one, or yeah, both, whatever. He says, that I don't want to fail them, and basically that he's tired of all the like promotional parts like Steve did. Steve had to do the plays and the bail bond stuff or whatever, or war bond, sorry. Um, but yeah, then he says he wants to, get out there and start, saving lives. And, Lamar tells him, the handshakes and the press conferences, it's all part of the Captain America title and gig or whatever. But yeah, there's nothing about John Walker that would, insinuate that he is a bad man.
Steve would not have been chosen to be Cap to begin with.
Look at that. He's making me cry.
Much past every test we gave him. He's big, he's fast, he obeys orders, he's a soldier.
I'm looking for qualities beyond the physical.
I briefly want to talk about the 3 Medals of Honor talking point because that keeps being brought up in these videos. Because yes, 3 Medals of Honor is a good look to be Cap on paper, but it's explicitly told to you during John's conversation with Lamar that he was ashamed of the things he had to do to get them.
That right there should tell you that he's a good person. He didn't want to kill anybody. For fuck's sake. I mean, even your argument tells us that he's a good man. I mean, he didn't want to fucking have to do whatever it is he had to do there, clearly. And then he says, if I had, the super soldiers, or no, it was Lamar who says, if we had the super soldier serum, we could have saved a lot more lives.
That the things that we had to do in Afghanistan to be awarded those medals felt a long way from being right.
And to briefly
He says it. He says that it felt wrong. He didn't want to do it. He had to do it.
expand on this point, let's take a small look at history. If you guys remember John Walker's origin story, he's a U.S. veteran of the Afghanistan conflict, and there are numerous reports.
I mean, honestly, I hate having to go through this. I hate having to, keep having this conversation with idiots like this. Steve Rogers, even fucking Sam Wilson, they all were soldiers that probably did shit they weren't supposed to do. They fucking killed a lot of people. Hell, even Steve was used by the government, like in the what do you call it? The Winter Soldier. They had him, take out all those Hydra agents or whatever, just so Natasha could steal some data or some shit, and he didn't want to do that because he was tricked.
Of U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan doing some pretty shady operations over there under government direction. And if we take another look in U.S. history, there were various times where American soldiers were awarded Medals of Honor for doing, well, let's just say not so honorable things. A key example of this is the Wounded Knee massacre that took place in 1890, where a U.S.
Bro, that's like 100 years. No, that's over 100 years ago. So, yeah, let's see. 100 years would be 1990. So, yeah, that's over 100 years. I mean, I don't think that, John Walker was doing some shit like this.
military unit under the authority of the U.S. government killed hundreds of unarmed Native American men, women, and children. Catch here is that 20 of the soldiers in his unit who carried out this task received Medals of Honor for it, for displaying bravery and courage. Now, this is not to say John did something similar to this. We don't exactly know what him and Lamar did that makes him ashamed of that day. I am using this to say that military accolades is not an indicator of someone who should be Captain America, as it's been demonstrated throughout multiple times in the MCU. Being Cap means prioritizing being a good man over a good soldier. There are things that soldiers like Walker would do to appease the government that Steve and Sam themselves wouldn't. We've seen this play out multiple times throughout the Cap movies, and
What has, you know, John done or whatever that Steve hasn't? I mean, they've all killed. I mean, that's the only thing that people are talking about is how, you know, John Walker killed the terrorists or whatever. God, it's exhausting arguing with these idiots.
the Avengers movies in the MCU. Being a good Cap transcends military accolades. John literally throws these medals away at the end of the show to save the people in the van, which is funnily enough the most Captain America-esque thing he did in the show, and this was done on purpose.
We learn that the Flag Smashers'
So you agree that he is a good Captain America?
goal is to get things back to the way they were during the blip. How do they do that? By injuring and killing innocent
Also, I wonder if he's gonna, you know, mention, you know, how Sam Wilson fucking, you know, tried to sympathize with Carly Morgenthau, the mass murderer.
civilians, and they're led by this insufferable, annoying ginger chick Carly who tries to justify the killing and harming of innocent civilians by saying it's for a better cause. She literally blows up a van right next to a building, and 11 innocent people were injured and 2 were killed, one being a father of 2. And she wants to talk about, it's the only language these people understand.
This is the only language these people understand.
Fuck you.
Wow, it's almost like she's the villain.
And the best thing is, the show tries to make you care about her and see John as the bad guy. It's wild.
The show kills off Carly and redeems John by the end. Pretty sure the whole point was that John deep down was a good guy, just not meant to be Captain America. And it kind of goes to show
What? You just said that being a good person is what it takes to be Captain America. He's a good man, a good soldier. He's literally Steve Rogers combined with that other guy that's strong and fast and whatever, doing the jumping jacks. So what is it that you want from, you know, fucking Captain America? What is it that is so, I don't know, like what is the quality that a person has to be Captain America? It's so fucking ridiculous.
like how a lot of these Walker fans phrase this like, oh, they try to make Carly seem good and John seem bad. It's just like, bro, Carly and John are both complicated characters that are
Bro, they fucking, you know, act like, or they do this like symbolism thing, you know, at the end of the show or whatever, when Sam Wilson, he's floating down with his wings like an angel holding Carly's body. And then, you know, he tells the government, don't call her a terrorist, you know, because every time you hurt someone's feelings, they're going to be the next Carly Morgenthau, and you don't want to see the next one. What? It's so stupid.
like way more complex than black and white. It's just like they don't understand nuanced characters. It's crazy.
In episode 4, John finds Bucky and Sam, and after they learn of Carly's location, John rightfully wants to
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Um, Bucky chose to break Zemo out of prison, you know, instead of working with Walker. Which, you know, if he had worked with Walker, he could have said, hey, I bet Zemo's got information, and I'm sure the government could have interrogated his ass, or, you know, given Walker authority to take him from prison as long as he didn't, you know, escape or whatever. So I'm pretty sure they could have done that the legal way.
bring her in, but Sam says no, he wants to reason with her.
I think we're way past reasoning with her, unless you forgot the fact that she blew up a building with people still in it.
Yes.
Thank you, John, the
Yes.
only one using your head here. Why the f do we need to reason with her? You can reason with her when she's sitting behind bars.
Okay, so this is a straw man because he's falsely arguing that Sam doesn't want to bring her in. When he does, that's not what's being argued. Sam believes he can reason with her because she's emotionally vulnerable at this point. Keep in mind, earlier in the show, they already tried taking them on in a physical fight and they failed.
That's so stupid. It's bad writing. They don't have any kind of defense. Guns do the job. That's how they fucking kill Carly at the end, with a fucking gun. If John Walker was written well, he could have just pulled out his sidearm, shot Carly in the head, boom, dead. And then he could have shot the rest of them. That would have actually just been the end of the show. John Walker saves the day by shooting all the flag smashers.
John's flaw here is trying to use violence in a situation that's not needed. Sam is not opposed to stopping them. The issue is that they are in a highly concentrated area with civilians. He literally says if a fight ensues and the operation gets out of control, people could die. That's why he wants to try and talk to her first. It's been proven time and time again that Steve and Sam will get people to try to do the right thing if they have the chance. Hell, Steve reasoned with Pietro and Wanda and sympathized with them during a time where they were working for a whole terrorist organization.
Miles says they volunteered for Strucker's experiments. It's nuts.
Right. What kind of monster would let a German scientist experiment on them to protect their country?
We're not at war, Captain.
They are.
So there's literally no inconsistency with this, especially since it almost worked.
But John is a solid dude. He gives Sam 10 minutes, which he shouldn't have even done that. But after that 10 minutes, he goes in to arrest her, and she assaults him and runs away.
You might need to rewatch that scene again, bro, because it was not after the 10 minutes. In fact, the 10 minutes weren't even up yet. John stormed in and went back on what he said because his arrogance clouded his judgment, while we saw that what Sam was doing was clearly working.
No. This is a bad idea.
It hasn't been 10 minutes, John, just a tight.
Agree with your fight.
I agree with your fight.
I just can't give it the way you're fighting it. And
She wants to wipe out half the population and basically just have things the way it was during the blip, which I guess means that you can take whatever you want. I mean, you agree with that?
sure she wouldn't either.
Carly Morgenthau, you're under arrest.
Yeah, get that bitch.
No, Carly,
Tricking
wait.
me until your backup arrived.
No, I think
Yeah, that was his plan, to basically, trick her to go into jail.
we had enough time to talk.
Okay, let's say he gave him the full 10 minutes. Do you think that what's his name, Sam, would actually have been so convincing with his words that Carly Morgenthau would have been like, wow, I am doing the wrong thing, and I'm going to turn myself in and I'm going to go to jail? No, she ain't going to do that. You're fucking stupid.
You were not civil.
Use a
It's heavily
gun!
implied here that if John hadn't gone back on what he said, Sam would have gotten Carly to come in peacefully, the plot would have resolved itself, and
No, that would not have happened. Are you fucking insane?
Lamar wouldn't have died later. So yeah, thank John for making the situation 10 times worse than it needed to be.
Later on, Walker breaks in
God, this guy is so dumb.
and tells Sam to turn over Zemo. And as he's doing this, the Dora Milaje throw a spear at his head. They
Yeah.
came here
I mean, that right there, if he hadn't moved his head back, he'd be dead. So there is no defending the Dora Milaje.
for Zemo. And John, being the
I mean, yeah, John has every right to just fucking take these bitches out with his gun. Which, another bad writing plot.
solid dude he is, tries to de-escalate the situation.
Oh yes, the solid dude who just kicked the fucking door down and was about to start a fight with Sam for no reason when he was just trying to talk to him.
He's had enough of his shit. Sam has been getting in his way, fucking things up.
Yeah, solid dude, alright. So solid that not even Lamar, his own partner, approved of what he was about to do at this point.
How do you want the rest of this conversation to go, Sam? Huh? Yeah. Should I put down the shield? Make it fair?
Oh, but, they don't care about that though.
And tells them that they don't have jurisdiction
But that kind of goes against your point, because you said this show had good writing. It's not good writing.
here.
The Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje find.
Point right there. That's bad writing. I mean, if you want the Dora Milaje to come off as heroes, you wouldn't write that.
Themselves to be.
That's right. I forgot the door Melage can just roll up to anywhere, whenever they want, and do whatever they want. Because, well, just because.
John literally just did the exact same thing they did 2 seconds ago. This is kind of
What? No. He had jurisdiction. That's his job. Are you fucking kidding me?
what I mean. Like, when it comes to Walker fans, you're just kind of missing the point of this whole scene. Like, the whole thing here is that Walker is basically being a hypocrite because he's lecturing AO for, like, mandates and jurisdiction when he literally broke the government mandate and came here without them knowing. So he doesn't have jurisdiction here either.
I'm just gonna run with this one for a minute.
Take what happens next isn't a strictly on the books type of thing, is it, Cap?
Or if we get the job done, do you really think they're gonna sweat us on the house?
The reality is not.
I mean, that's bad writing, yeah. Because, I mean, why? Why wouldn't you tell the government that you're going to get Carly Morgenthau because, you know, she's in fucking whatever country that was? I mean, why wouldn't you ask for some backup?
Neither of them have jurisdiction here. This whole jurisdiction thing is just a dick measuring contest between two egos. That's kind of why John's attempt at de-escalation is failing, because he's not really trying to like reason with them in the traditional sense. He's just trying to assert himself above everyone else in the room. And it's so weird how Walker fans constantly say, oh, they tried to kill John with a spear. That wasn't right. So wrong. It was badly written. It's like, no, the Dora Milaje clearly weren't supposed to be in the right here. They violate John, violate Bucky, and violate Sam. This wasn't meant to be a good guy moment from them. After all,
What? I mean, even on the fucking website, and I've seen this from other videos, that the Marvel, whatever, the Marvel Entertainment or whatever, they put in their, I'd have to find the video again, but basically they said that the Dora Milaje were in the right in the scene. So you're wrong. I mean, also, why would Marvel writers write the Dora Milaje as villains? You see what I'm saying? I mean, that makes absolutely zero sense, because that means that other people would be like, hey, you know, why should I root for this country, you know, that Black Panther comes from and is a hero? So what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
they're not traditional heroes. They're warriors. Dora Milaje almost laid hands on Black Widow in Civil War just for being in their walking path, and nearly killed a high-profile FBI agent for thumping their king on the shoulder. This is very consistent with how they've
Well, that just goes to show they're fucking savages.
been portrayed in the past. Does that make them right? No, but it is in character. And remember what I told you guys, it's in character, which means it's not badly written, even if you may not like how they reacted.
John's like, alright, just chill, and this chick smacks him around and kicks him into next week, and then goes for a kill shot, but luckily he blocks it. At this moment, he has every right to take out his pistol and Swiss cheese the fuck out of all of them. He has literally done nothing wrong, except for trying to do his job.
So again, the wrong principles are being applied here. It's not his intention or what he was trying to do that was the issue, it was how he went about it. We have to kind of use our common sense here, right? If 3 highly trained Royal Guards people, roughly the equivalent of the Secret Service, walked in to apprehend someone who killed their king, the absolute last thing you'd want to do is insult their culture by calling their weapons pointy sticks and then violate their cultural boundaries by touching them. The Dora Milaje were 100% not in the right here. At the same time, Walker did not help the situation and made it 10 times worse.
I mean, just because you say pointy sticks, which that's what they are, I mean, you know, a spear, I mean, granted it's metal, but I mean, can a stick be metal? I don't know. But anyway, the point is yeah, it's basically a pointy stick.
2 things can be true at once.
But he decides to just throw hands, and the highly trained, literal peak.
Honestly, he doesn't even throw hands in the fight. He just plays defense the scene. He never like swings at him or anything. He just keeps putting his guard up and trying to take the hits.
Human with a vibranium shield is getting whooped by a also highly trained but lightweight chick with a spear.
A spear that's also made of vibranium.
That doesn't make her, you know, any like more deadly, because he has a vibranium shield. So basically, when she goes to stab or whatever, he could deflect, move in, and then, knock her ass out.
Like you do watch the Black Panther movies, right? Because if you did, you know this.
Lamar, who is also highly trained, can't do anything.
Bullshit.
The Dora Milaje are not enhanced. There is no reason that walkers should not be sleeping each and every one of them with one juicer to the lips.
You're right, they're not enhanced. Just some of the most fiercely trained warriors on the planet who are assigned to protect an enhanced individual, which I'd argue puts them well above most humans on Earth in terms of combat prowess, but you are right, they're not enhanced.
I understand that the Dora Milaje are highly trained. I don't care.
I mean, you heard it here, guys. He doesn't care. He boosts John by saying he's highly trained, but now all of a sudden doesn't care that the Dora Milaje are also highly trained. They've literally fought aliens before, and they also have vibranium-coated armor on and vibranium spears that counter John's vibranium shield. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't care, so I guess.
It's not a counter. If anything, it's just a, you know, what do you call it? Like an even match or whatever, because like basically you have two people with vibranium, and it just depends on how you use it. And honestly, I mean, and science, or like biology proves that men are naturally stronger than women. So, you know, basically, yeah, I mean, John does have the advantage in that fight.
Says that.
The best female UFC fighter gets wrecked by an unranked male UFC fighter. That's just the truth. Even Jorge Masvidal says this.
What?
They even start clapping up Bucky and Sam, which is
He didn't have anything to say about that.
just ridiculous.
My brother, what in the world does this have to do with the UFC? This is not the real world, and this is not a fighting ring. You do realize.
So these bitches get a pass because what? They have some training. The laws of or biology or whatever just don't apply.
This is the same universe as the Black Widow program, of which we've seen female characters go toe-to-toe with multiple trained soldiers at once and win. Why is it now unbelievable that...
I mean, I don't really care for that either. I don't think that, I mean, well, these guys aren't really highly trained. They're just security guards or whatever. But, even then, it is ridiculous because they do the stupid thing where they take her on one at a time instead of like just tackling her at the same, or well, all together, you know. I mean, it's not realistic.
the Dora Milaje can't do the same thing? Again, we've seen them do this before, and they have vibranium. And yes, while it is true that...
I mean, you act like vibranium is like just this automatic, win tool or whatever. I mean, if that's the case, then why isn't John winning against him? Or at the very least, come or like at a draw or standstill.
Sam and Bucky are capable. Sam is nowhere as skilled fighting wise as...
Oh yeah, that's another fucking thing that is so stupid is that Bucky, the Winter Soldier, who was one of the most feared people on the planet for the longest time, probably highly trained in so many different ways, and he's a super soldier, gets taken out by these stupid bitches. That doesn't make any fucking sense. He should be like, and then boom, that would fucking break their jaw or whatever.
the Dora Milaje, and Bucky is clearly holding back here because he's only trying to de-escalate. Not to mention, the Dora Milaje had a kill switch on his arm, which means they were already anticipating a fight with him. That Batman prep time went crazy.
The only reason they do this is for one, to show off how badass these chicks are, but also to make John think that he's a scrub, so he takes the serum that he found earlier.
They weren't even super soldiers.
Now, this would have been fine if it was at least competitive, but when 3 chicks absolutely destroy 4 highly trained soldiers, one being a super soldier, it's kind of ridiculous. Also, I'm willing to bet that Walker is at least a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt with wrestling experience, so the fact that he can't take them down and lock up any sort of submission is wild because I can pretty much guarantee that Dora Milaje do not train Jiu-Jitsu. I'm just saying.
Okay, first off, they are trained in multiple martial arts, so that wouldn't matter. Second, again, this isn't a UFC ring. Jiu-Jitsu, in fact, is pretty much useless here because they have spears. Like, being on the ground, even is...
He has a shield. What's your fucking point? I mean, hell, I mean, it's so dumb because, I mean, if, like I said, that if they were to try to stab or throw the spear or whatever, I mean, John could deflect and then move in and fuck them up. So I don't get it.
It's for defensive purposes is probably the worst place you want to be in a fight like this because it leaves you pretty vulnerable to being stabbed. Fun fact, it's
What? You have a shield, bro. What the fuck? I mean, seriously. I mean, he could deflect, kick, something. I mean, have you never heard of parrying?
one of the reasons why jiu-jitsu, even though it's popular in MMA, generally isn't recommended for street fights.
Anyways, the next time Walker comes to fight, he's juiced up on that serum. This is a kill shot. If Walker doesn't move, he's toast. And the Flag Smashers talked about it earlier, their goal is to kill Walker now. So he can and should be Swiss cheesing every one of these terrorists. He sends this guy flying through the air and finds Sam. They head downstairs and they start.
Oh, and he doesn't point that out, but Sam sees Walker, and then after he kicks the terrorist's ass, and then they just let him get up and run away. The first thing Sam says to Walker is, "What did you do?" Not what's going on, or what's the situation, I mean, he doesn't give a fuck about Lamar.
Scrapping with a bunch of Flag Smashers. Walker starts beating the shit out of everyone, but eventually one of them holds him in place.
Which is bullshit. It's such a bullshit because Walker was stronger, or one of the strongest people on Earth. He should be able to pry that guy off of him, no problem. He's just a regular dude from the streets on, the fucking serum. I would say Walker should be probably twice as strong as him.
Probably just super jump out of this, but whatever. Carly then goes for the kill shot, but Lamar comes in and saves him. She then punches him into a stone pillar and he dies. So rightfully so, John chases after the dude who held him down and packs him up with the shield.
Good riddance.
Oh no, he killed a super terrorist who has aided in killing and injuring multiple innocent people, including John's best friend Lamar, and he got packed up.
Gonna cry?
I see nothing wrong here. But they make this a big deal and act like no hero ever killed anyone, and now the shield is stained with blood. And there are actually fans who don't like John because he killed someone, because Steve Rogers would have never done that. I guess we're just gonna act like Steve wasn't putting people in the dirt for good. He was using the shield while mowing down a bunch of people. You think everyone in this tank is just getting knocked out from this? You think this guy survived this fall? You think this guy survived?
That's another good point.
This tank is just getting knocked out from this? You think
this guy right here, he's a shield agent under the control of Loki. So this guy is, not, what do you call it? He's not, doing this on purpose. Yet Steve throws him off the helicarrier. And, I mean, it would make more sense to knock him out, but Steve didn't care. He just threw him to his death. That was a guy who was innocent. He was a shield agent, and he was mind controlled by Loki because we see at the beginning of the Avengers movie that Loki comes in there, takes over a bunch of people's minds, and then he leaves with a little group or whatever to go set up his little lab or whatever and try to find the Tesseract.
Guy survived this fall? You think this guy survived this shit? His chest is now caved in, and if he did survive, then he drowned. You think this guy didn't die of blunt force trauma? Where the f did people get this idea that Cap never killed?
This is a common strawman used by John Walker fanboys where they intentionally misconstrue the point the show is making. Captain America has killed before. That's not the issue. Cap has killed terrorists before. That's not the issue. People are not mad at John because he killed a terrorist. They are mad at him because he killed him while he had his hands up and on the ground. Cap kills people, but he does it out of duty or to protect other people. It's one thing killing when it's an active combat situation or when it's your life or theirs, like in wartime during the first Avenger or the various combat situations that we see him in throughout the movies. It's completely different when the guy is on the ground, signaling he's no longer a threat, pleading for his life.
What? No, that's not what happened. I mean, the guy, he just tried to, buy time to get back up. He says, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me." That is the exact thing he says. He doesn't say, "Okay, I give up. I'll come with you," or whatever. No, he just says, "It wasn't me." He tries to deflect blame and says, "It was Carly. It was Carly." Not, like, "I'm sorry I held you." He didn't say anything to really, I don't know, like, I mean, everyone thinks just because the dude had his hands up like this which could have been from him trying to deflect Walker's attack. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think the guy was surrendering because, he didn't say, I surrender. He didn't say, please don't kill me. He didn't say anything like that. And also, don't you think there's probably been some kills in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where, someone probably would have surrendered? Or maybe they were, fighting, for a purpose that they thought was right, and, they thought they were the good guys or whatever. And, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's been times when, the kill wasn't justified or whatever, but, people don't really care about that. They just, I don't know, for some reason, this one fucking scene is so, like, what's it, divisive or whatever, that people just, they can't seem to, agree on or whatever. Like, you're either, it was fine, it was a regular Marvel Cinematic Universe kill, or the guy was begging for his life and he was innocent, which no, the guy was not innocent and he deserved to die. If you kill people blowing up buildings and shit, you don't deserve to live. You deserve to die.
And you kill him anyway. That's a literal war crime, and Cap has never executed anyone when they were giving up. Walker fans seem to think that the scene was framed unfairly, but if you notice throughout the MCU, whenever one of the Avengers tries to kill someone and it's not justified in some way, it's always framed as negative. It's the reason why, despite the fact that the Avengers do kill, Tony trying to off Bucky was framed as bad. We know why he would go after Bucky, but at the end of the day, he knew he was under mind control and tried to kill him when he wasn't a threat. Hawkeye doing what he did in Endgame and killing us.
So then why is Tony Stark forgiven, and beloved, but John Walker is constantly berated for that one fucking scene? Oh yeah, and Hawkeye too. Hawkeye, he literally just went fucking like nuts, killing, tons of people as Ronin or whatever.
Rendering criminal was framed as bad because he was killing out of vengeance and not to protect others. Thor decapitating Thanos when he wasn't a threat. Yeah, that was bad because that was clearly meant to be a low moment where Thor let his rage get the better of him. John's kill is framed to be wrong for this exact.
I mean, Thor was in the right for killing Thanos because, you know, Thanos is dangerous with or without the fucking stones.
Same reason. John did not need to kill Nico. He did initially resist and get up a couple times, but he did put his hands up and give up. Now, let's
No,
briefly go.
God, I hate when people say that. I mean, just because your hands are in this position, that don't mean you give up. That could mean, I'm ready to block or whatever. I mean, let's say he did, put his hands up like, oh, I surrender. But, why wouldn't you say I surrender? Why wouldn't you, you know, fucking, say something other than it wasn't me, it wasn't me? I mean, but like I said, the guy was a fucking terrorist and he deserved to die.
Over some of the defenses that Walker fans are inevitably going to put in the comments.
I mean, honestly, that's like if someone said if Hitler, you know, gave up or whatever, Hitler or Hitler, sorry, I can't talk. Hitler killed, like I don't know, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. I don't know. I'm not sure how many people he killed. Um, but yeah, I mean, if someone said, like, oh, if he put his hands up and said it wasn't me, should he get to live or whatever? I mean, I think most people would agree, no, fucking off the guy. I mean, you could use that for like most terrorists, like Saddam Hussein and fucking I forget the name of the other guy that I think was like involved. Wait, was it no? No, Saddam Hussein wasn't the guy with the twin towers. What was the name of that guy? I think it was Osama bin Laden. That's what it was.
Section. No, his hands were not up to shield himself from damage like Tony in Civil War. As you can see, the positions are almost absurdly different. Tony's arms are crossed and he's clearly shielding his face while Steve is hitting him with the shield. Here, Nico's hands are up and spread apart when John isn't even hitting him at this point. His shield was at his side, and Nico's hands stay like this up until John executes him. So he was absolutely signaling he wasn't a threat anymore. No, just because he did not physically say "I surrender" does not mean he wasn't surrendering. Per military training, surrendering is not inherently verbal. Soldiers get trained on what verbal and nonverbal surrenders look like in various combat scenarios.
I mean, people treat this guy like, he's just a normal civilian, like, and, just a guy who fucking, like, I don't know, like robbed a grocery store or something. And they don't seem to remember that this guy is a fucking super terrorist. I mean, he has to be put down. I mean, I don't think, like, even if John were to, like pick him up and like try to take him in, he couldn't put him in handcuffs or anything because, well, he could break out of them. I mean, what the hell would you do in that situation? I mean, you're the only one there with that terrorist. If you try to like pick him up or whatever, he can fight back again. So there really is no win situation there.
You can look up footage online and see military units recognizing body language as they surrender without them having to say it. John absolutely knew Nico was giving up when he killed him. And for the people who
But in that war though, like this isn't war. This is like I don't know what you would classify this as, but it's not war. It's more like a maybe kind of like a police situation or something. Or I mean, like I said, it's not a war because they're not. It's not two nations that fighting or whatever. It's I mean, there is a terrorist organization. I don't know what you'd classify that as.
say super soldiers can't surrender, well, unfortunately, the MCU has already shown that to be possible many times, including the show. If we're going by Walker logic, Rhodey should have shot T'Challa in the head when he was surrendering in Civil
What? No, T'Challa wasn't a fucking terrorist.
War because he has powers and still could have been a threat, which obviously makes no fucking sense and would be an abuse of authority. Decapitating someone while he's begging in front of crowds of people and spreading fear across a foreign country is literally something that a terrorist would do. Cap is supposed to be better than the terrorists. It's okay when John was using his gun against the terrorists in the truck fight because it was an active combat situation. None of them gave up or stopped fighting. If John had killed them there or during the Moss fight where the Flag Smashers were actually trying to kill him like the Avengers usually do, no one would have cared. The thing is, if someone is surrendering as Cap, you spare them. That's just a no-brainer. So even though you can understand his motive, he lost his best friend, Walker ultimately wasn't justified for it. Same way Clint wasn't, and same way Thor wasn't when he did it.
What about when Iron Man rolled up and smoked a bunch of terrorists?
Again, it's not terrorists being killed that's the problem, it's how and why you do it. Here, it's justified because Iron Man's killing them to save other people. And it's clear that they were gonna kill them if Tony didn't do something, so it's justified.
Or in Iron Man 3 when he blew a hole through that dude and packed him up.
These guys hijacked a plane full of people, so not only was he an imminent threat, but it was also self-defense. He didn't give up or stop fighting, and he was literally gonna kill him unless Tony did that, so it's justified.
Sam Wilson, in the first episode of this show, was murking people.
This was an active war zone, and these were mercenaries who hijacked a plane and put other people in danger and took them hostage. Not to mention they were shooting at him. So yeah, it's justified.
But yeah, Walker's a disgusting, unforgivable monster. I can't believe he killed a completely innocent, murdering terrorist.
I am aware that there are some people out there that hate every fiber of his being, but let's not generalize every Marvel fan. Most people are not saying he is an unforgivable monster, just that he was a bad Captain America. That's not the same thing as saying he's the worst person on planet Earth. That's not people saying he can't be a hero in his own way. That's just people acknowledging a fact. I'm not sure why Walker fans get so triggered and completely exaggerate what people are saying when this gets pointed out, because he is a bad Captain America. Or, I'm sorry, he was a bad Captain America.
I mean, what is the standard of Captain America? I mean, people just always kind of generalize and say, "Oh, you have to be a good person." Well, what does that mean? What good qualities do you have to be Captain America? I mean, I feel like, John Walker embodies probably 90% of what Cap was. Pretty damn close, more than anyone else.
America, because he's not Cap anymore.
Damn.
Even
I mean, honestly, like, uh, fucking, Walker, like, he was, trying to be Captain America with no superpowers, whereas Steve Rogers, he had superpowers from the get go. So, that kind of made it easier for him. Walker was kind of on an uphill battle.
with this narrative in Thunderbolts.
Before you publicly murdered an innocent man on the street.
Are you serious? Murdered an innocent man.
It's wild.
Okay, context is important here. Ghost was not there. She does not know every single detail of what happened. She just knows what the media put out. The media thinks that Walker just killed some random innocent dude in the
Yeah, that's why, I've been saying for the longest time, John Walker should have gone to the fucking media and exposed all the dirty secrets. He should have fucking, told them about how Bucky, broke Zemo out of prison. He should have told them about how Sam and Bucky fucking, ganged up on him in a warehouse after he, had his or well, his best friend was murdered. you know I mean, there's so much shit that he could tell them, like, the man that he killed was a fucking super terrorist, and there was no way of bringing him in, because if he had, picked him up, the guy could have fought back or whatever, tried to run. I mean, he could have taken a hostage. Did you think about that? No, you didn't. I mean, what would happen then?
street for no reason. That's why Walker's define innocent line was put in there, because we as the audience know that Nico was not innocent. She does not know what we know.
I'd argue that Sam and Bucky killed more people by not stopping the Flag Smashers when they had the chance, but that's just my opinion.
Bro, every time Sam and Bucky got close to stopping them, John got in the way and botched it. As said before, if John hadn't went back on what he said and didn't intervene with Sam, he would have gotten Carly to back down and Lamar's wouldn't have died later. John is
Oh my God, you're so dumb. I mean, if you really think Carly Morgenthau was just gonna go to prison for the rest of her life, you're really dumb. I mean, once you've killed so many people, I mean, I don't think you're gonna just, give that up and be like, all right, yeah, I was wrong. I'm gonna go to prison. No. She's gonna fight to the end.
not gonna let you fuck him. He's a grown-ass man. Stop trying to absolve him of responsibility for his actions.
But this gets better. While Walker is grieving the loss
And what the fuck what did he say?
Later, John is not gonna let you fuck him. He's a grown-ass man.
That's a weird thing to say. Why would you say that?
Stop trying to absolve him of responsibility for his actions.
I mean, just because you think John is a good person that, and he's justified in what he did, that means you want to fuck him? Bro, that's weird. You're weird.
But this gets better. While Walker is grieving the loss of his best friend and reflecting on what he just did, Bucky and Sam pull up and tell him to give up the shield, and they instigate a fight. And Walker starts beating their asses.
They did not instigate anything.
Yes, they did.
They don't even antagonize him. Sam and Bucky
Oh, you are so wrong about that.
literally tried to talk him down, and John is not budging.
Know what I had
Dude, how are you this stupid?
to do. I killed him because
I had to. He killed Lamar.
You didn't kill
right.
Lamar, John. Don't go down that road.
I mean, yeah, he may not have been like the one who dealt the blow, but yeah, he's part of the team that did kill Lamar.
Road. Believe me, it doesn't end well.
I'm not like you.
Listen, it was the heat of the battle, okay? If you explain what happened, they may consider your record. I don't want anyone else to get hurt.
And then that's when, he realized all they want is that shield.
You gotta give me the shield, man.
You should not have said that. I mean, seriously, he knows that you two don't give a fuck about John, because throughout the entire series to this point, y'all have been dicks to him. So why would he think that you would be on his side?
Now, again, Bucky is the
Whoa. Are you gonna play the rest of it?
one who initiates the fight when it's clear John isn't going to stand down. This dude is mentally unstable, just executed someone with the shield moments prior, and was about to go back outside when Sam and Bucky showed up.
Yeah, but he wasn't gonna go fucking killing people. I mean, he only killed the terrorists because, well, he was a terrorist, and also that he was responsible, or well, partially responsible for the death of Lamar. I mean, the first thing that comes out of John's mouth is, "You two don't look good. You should see a medic." So I don't think John was like some raging beast who was just like, "I gotta go kill someone else next."
So yeah, they had to take it from him. It was way too
What? And you didn't play the line, you piece of shit.
dangerous to let him keep it in his current mental state. Sam tried to offer
Oh my god. You really think John Walker is just gonna go out there and start killing people?
for counsel, and John refused. Hell, Sam still tries to talk him down throughout the fight. And if you notice,
No, he doesn't. He does the opposite.
there's an interesting hypocrisy from Walker fans that I caught. Their logic for justifying John killing Nico while he was surrendering is that he aided and abetted in a crime killing someone, so he deserved it. But when you flip the other coin and
What do you mean aiding and abetting? Or he was responsible for the murders too. I mean, I mean, we don't see like, what his part was or whatever, but I mean, when you're part of a terrorist organization, I'm sure you probably are going to get your hands dirty and kill some people.
we get to Bucky and Sam taking the shield from John minutes after he commits a literal war crime on live TV by decapitating someone. Now all of a sudden violence isn't okay, and Sam and Bucky had no right to disarm
Well, I don't think he decapitated. I think it was he caved in his chest.
him, and that's after they tried talking with him. The meat writing is absolutely insane.
John even goes out of his way to apologize.
What? We're not even gonna address, the fight? What the fuck? I mean, seriously, like, I'm probably gonna have to splice this in or whatever. But yeah, during the fight, one of the first things that John says is, "Why are you making me do this? Why are you making me do this?" And then the fight stops for a little bit, and John says to Sam, he's like, excuse me. He says, "We could have been a team." And then Sam says nothing. Sam just goes in for another attack. So, you can't say that Sam was, trying to end the fight, you know. I mean, he should have used his words and said, look, all right, we don't want to fight. Look, we're going to let you, cool off. And then, when you're ready, we'll head back to America and we'll figure this shit out. You don't have to give me the shield. Just, we'll go together or something. I don't know. This didn't need to happen. I mean, because clearly John didn't want to fight, and I mean, well, I guess they probably the government would have came there to pick up Lamar's body and stuff. So all y'all had to do was just sit tight, wait for the government to come, and talk it out or whatever.
To Lamar's parents for not being able to protect him.
Also, that's really shitty of Sam and Bucky. Now that I think about it, this never crossed my mind until just now, but they didn't defend Walker, whenever like it came to the little trial or whatever they had, the court martial, John and or Sam and Bucky, they should have, if they were the good guys, said that it was done in the heat of battle or the heat of the moment or some shit, or something along the lines to defend, supposedly your friend or whatever, which honestly they don't give a fuck about Walker, so of course they didn't help him.
And I feel like this justifies him packing up that flag smasher dude even more.
No, it does not, especially since he didn't even tell them the full truth about what happened.
Well, that would have just made them feel, worse if he said, oh no, I didn't get the one that actually hit him. I mean, he was just trying to fucking, make them feel better because they just lost their fucking son and brother.
Actually admire him in a way for going out of his way to at least apologize to Lamar's family, but he also lies to them when he says he got the guy who killed him when he didn't. The lie is actually a way in trying to justify a kill to himself, even though he knows what he did was wrong. Even one of the family members picked up on this and the fact that he was not telling the full truth about what happened in the scene.
But in the last episode, Walker comes back to take out Carly himself, and he's down to scratch solo dolo against like 5 super soldiers, and he's actually...
I mean, I don't know what the time period is, but, you know, John Walker, he did have a broken arm, so I'm thinking, you know, he probably was hurting during this fight, because, you know, he just had his arm broken.
beating their asses. This is why John Walker is the GOAT. But then he starts hunting down Carly, trying to end her because he's the only smart one here. But the scrawny chick, with nowhere near as much training as Walker, somehow gets the best of him. Walker was literally the definition of a peak human being and highly trained before the serum. And this was a scrawny, probably untrained or very little trained younger girl who then got the serum. How was this even a competition?
No, if you actually watch the show, you know she was indeed trained in fighting by Sharon Carter. That's why she can fight so well.
Oh my God. How long was she trained by Sharon Carter? And also, I mean, no, you can't tell me that this little bitch is, you know, just so good that she takes out, you know, someone who was in the military for probably 10 plus years or something, you know? I mean, no. I mean, this guy is, you know, a peak human being, super intelligent, you know, off the charts in every fucking way. But, you know, whenever he goes up against a girl who has the same serum, he loses to her. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
He used to work for her. And even then,
I mean, honestly, that kick to John's head that she did, it shouldn't have probably even moved John because, you know, he has super endurance. You know, I mean, whenever he does that jump in Thunderbolts, he falls like, I don't know how high. I mean, I think they said it was about the height of the Statue of Liberty. So yeah, he's definitely got some super endurance.
you actually watch the fight, John was actually dominating for most of it. Carly really only wins because she uses her environment to her advantage, whereas Walker, he's clearly fighting out of rage. He's not really using technique like Carly is here, just kind of taking hard swings and hoping something lands.
But after getting knocked down, he gets up and he could go after her, but instead he tries saving the hostages in this armored truck by himself while fighting off a bunch of super soldiers.
That's why he's... And also, you know, his arm's probably fucked up still.
The GOAT! The GOAT! Yeah, he was the GOAT here. This was meant to be a moment of redemption for him, so it's...
Then why did nobody cheer him on? Why is it that the writers couldn't give him this moment? The writers had to, you know, basically show that he couldn't do the job. He needed Sam Wilson to swoop in and, you know, push the truck up, which honestly, if you do like the, you know, or like if you look at the scene, it makes no fucking sense because what's his name? Sam would have been crushed because he has a vibranium suit, but he's not fully protected. He catches a huge armored truck with no super strength, and you know his bare hands are exposed, so you know it would just crush his arms.
So weird how Walker fans will look at this and still say the show tried to vilify him. I'm just like, does bro know? He was never meant to be a villain. Walker has historically been an anti-hero throughout Marvel history. Not someone who is completely perfect, but not completely evil either.
And then in Thunderbolts, he wasn't too bad. They made him kind of an asshole for no reason, which doesn't really line up with who he was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
He's more of an asshole in this movie because his wife and kid left him, not for no reason. It also doesn't help that his reputation is basically ruined after Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it's like, of course he's not going to be the happiest dude in the world. Not to mention, if we go back to Lamar's conversation, he says the super soldier serum just makes you more of what's already there. They didn't just make him into an asshole, more so he was developed into one over time.
He was also at times just a dumbass, which is weird because before the serum, he tested off the charts in intelligence.
My guy, he was the one who came up with the plan that got them all out of the incinerator.
Tried that already. I know she did, but we haven't tried shutting down.
I mean, yeah, he did that, but why would you write the part when he was like, they're coming to pick me up, and when basically the incinerator comes online or whatever. So, I mean, it's inconsistent. Basically, is he smart or is he dumb? Which is it?
We built it just for her. It's got to be an independent power source.
You're laughing. Well, that works.
Not only that, but he constantly proves feats of beating people up and also protects Bucky from Sentry numerous times throughout their fight. No, he was not an incompetent dumbass in this movie.
But it wasn't over the top, I guess. He did somehow get taken down by Elena, who's highly trained but not a super soldier, but I'll let it slide because other than that, he beats her ass. He also spanks Taskmaster with ease and destroys a whole army of armed soldiers off screen by himself. So he was pretty solid. The only real loss he has is when he got spanked by Bob, but literally nothing anybody could do there. He also saved a lady from a big ass wall from falling on her, so he was definitely written better in this, but it's blatantly obvious the writers trashed him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier to elevate the other characters around him like Carly, Bucky and Sam, and Dora Milaje. I know it sounds like a meat writing,
you are,
but when the show says he's a highly trained literal peak human and then have him look like a scrub and lose before and after taking the serum, it's like, alright buddy, come on.
What the fuck are you talking about? You literally just played scenes of him doing solid feats and not losing.
He did somehow get taken down by Elena, who's highly trained but not a super.
But I mean, it's inconsistent. I mean, is he strong in one point or, is he weak? Is he smart or is he dumb? It's like they gotta fucking, just kind of jab him every now and then just to, you know, put him in his place, I guess. That's how I feel about it. Like they don't want him to, be the leader. They don't want him to be the MVP or whatever. No, that's got to go to Yelena. Yelena will never do anything stupid. She'll always, be the one that everyone loves. And, I do like her, but I don't like that they got to take down, my guy John, at the same time. I mean, I feel like, John should be the leader of the Thunderbolts or the New Avengers or whatever because he's the Captain America, he's the strategist, he's the one who's been in wars. I mean, Black Widow or Yelena or whatever, she doesn't really know much about the world. She's an assassin, but she like, we see in Black Widow that she hasn't really done anything in life. She's never bought clothes. I mean, all she's ever known is mind control.
Super soldier, but I'll let it slide because other than that, he beats her ass. He also spanks Taskmaster with ease and destroys a whole army of armed soldiers off screen by himself. He also saved a lady from a big ass wall from falling on her, so he was definitely written better in this.
Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Walker fans continuing to be in denial as usual. Let me know what you guys think. If you like what you see, be sure to like the video, share, comment on the video. I expect to see a lot of fragility from Walker fangirls in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't already.
See, why does he got to be like that, huh? Why does it got to be like, the Walker fangirls? I mean, I could say the same thing about you and fucking Miles Morales because that's all you've really shown this video is fucking Miles Morales this, Miles Morales that. You want to suck Miles Morales' dick. I get it. See? I can be like that too, but, I don't want to be an asshole. Anyways, but yeah, this guy, he's so wrong about a lot of things. I mean, there was a couple points that he kind of, was on some level with, but, no, for the most part, he was wrong about a lot of stuff. He left a lot of stuff out, like the warehouse fight. They didn't go over that. I mean, maybe because it wasn't in fuck. Um, the other guy's video. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, though there's a lot of stuff that makes Walker either look good or look stupid, which like I said, that's inconsistent. Which is it? Is Walker a good guy or is he a bad guy? Is he smart or is he dumb? I mean, it's just they don't know how to write, or well, uh, they don't know how to be consistent with his character, I guess I should say. You know, it's like they gotta take him down every now and then. I mean, he can't be on like, or well, I guess he can't be like, Yelena or hell, even what do you call it? Well, actually, no, I was gonna say Yelena. I guess it's just the female characters, I guess, because if you think about it, Ghost is never really made fun of or anything in the movie. She's always making quips about other people, but John Walker is the only one who's either made fun of or I mean, really, he doesn't make fun of anyone else. Well, I guess he does kind of poke at Bob a little bit, but not much. I mean, he does say, it looks like he skipped arm, leg, and chest day because, he was having trouble climbing up the elevator shaft or whatever. But, but yeah, I guess my complaint would be that they are very inconsistent with John Walker's writing. Sometimes he's portrayed as good and badass, which I like that. But then there are times when they have to, drag him down. It's like, why do you have to do this? Why do you have to have characters be such an asshole to him? Why do you have to make him look dumb sometimes? I mean, it's not all the time, but sometimes. I guess that's the biggest takeaway of this video is that, you know, John Walker is a really cool character and has good moments, but it feels like there's like one guy or maybe a couple writers in the room that really hate him and like they gotta be like, oh, but let's put this in, just to drag him down a little bit, to really make Yelena stand out or something. Oh. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to show this. I mean, yeah, I hate when people are dickheads and stuff like that, and and whenever you attack John Walker, I'm obviously gonna stand up for him. Um, yeah, I mean, also I didn't like that he attacked Bay. Is it Bay's talks or talks Bays or something like that? Anyway, he's got some good stuff. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that he says, but check him out. He's pretty good. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.